Hello, and welcome to our Ecosystem Plus training video series. In this video, we're going to introduce the EcoMonitor interface and demonstrate how to set up a basic milking system and configurations. As each farm's Parlor installation is unique, we will not go into detail about the specific milking parameters here. Please refer to the EcoFlow installation and setup guide, as the EcoMonitor parameters are the same as the ones used previously for EcoFlow. We will present the material in two videos. The correct setup for the milking parlor is critical for its optimal function, so we need to cover all of the material in depth. Please note, in this video, we will demonstrate the milking system setup. For the activity settings setup, please view our Ecosystem Plus YouTube training video, EcoMonitor Activity Hardware Configuration. Let's begin. First, check to see that the USB cable from the communication card is connected securely. Double-click on the EcoMonitor to open. Log in as engineer to activate the main menu. On a new system, the EcoMonitor will first open a Select Language screen. Select your language and apply. Then it will automatically show the HWS config. The first tab on the HWS config is Basic. Here we will enter the basic system details and view the default settings. Enter the hardware server name. This name will now appear at the bottom of the EcoMonitor on the status bar. Check the box for the milking feature. It will open the milking framework to set up additional important parameters regarding the milking. The default setting for the session template is entire day. Later on, we will demonstrate how to set up the template for the daily milking schedule. Select an animal type from the drop-down menu. For this demonstration, we will select cow. It is important to select the correct animal type as it affects the system parameters in the parlor. Select the system units from the drop-down menu. The default setting is metric. In the milking options, we will set up the following. First, we will select the parlor shape. For this example, we will choose herringbone from the pull-down menu. It is important to select the correct parlor shape because it affects the other settings, as we will see shortly. Then select identification type. Here we will select LRP in post. Important note, because we have selected the LRP tag, we need to check the activity feature. We will need to enter two receivers into the system. One uniquely defined for ID in the milking parlor, and another will be outside and defined to receive the activity transmissions. Now we will define the additional parlor settings. Currently, the display shows the default settings. Auto ID, auto codes, and new lactation are activated. The other settings must be activated manually. The default settings. Auto ID means that it will allow the system to milk an animal without identification. It is mandatory for identification types Watch Passive and Watch LRP. When not checked and the milk meter does not have an animal ID number prior to the milking, an ECID message will appear on the milk meter. Auto codes. When activated, the automatic code for colostrum, code 8, will be created when a dried-off animal identifies in the parlor, and a new lactation will be created. In addition, a dry cow code, code 5, will be deactivated for that animal. Code 8 will be activated for a new heifer when she comes into the parlor for the first time. New lactation. Automatically opens a new lactation for an animal that comes into the parlor after being dried off. If not activated, the milk from a dry cow will continue to appear on the existing lactation. For heifers, a new lactation will always be opened. These settings are not activated automatically. Forbid same animal. The same animal cannot be milked more than once for each session, except if she remains at the same post. Do not check if you use adjacent posts for milking the animals. Common for small animal types. Forbid new tag. When activated, this setting blocks entering new tags at the milking unit. They can only be entered from the software. Wrong group alarm. is defined by the majority of group assignments on each side of the parlor. Export to cow feeder. Now we will configure the communication card. Click on the gray table to activate Add Delete Communication Cards. Click on the Add button from the toolbar to open the Communication Config pane. The available communication card will appear on the pane. Select the communication card, which is the same number as appears in the box. Click on the Apply button. The communication card serial number will be added to the configuration. If you'll be working with multiple communication cards, repeat the procedure for each unit. Next, we will define the milk meters in the parlor. Click on the Milk Meter tab to define the milking units. We will demonstrate how to set up a sample milking parlor. Click the communication card for the milking parlor from the drop-down menu. Define the number of sides in the parlor. For this example, we will enter 2 sides. Note, the number of sides may be limited to the parlor shape that you have defined in the Basic tab. For example, parlor shape rotary, you can only set 1 side. On side 1, click on the gray table, then click on the Add button. A pop-up screen will appear for you to select 1 or more rows to insert. It will save you time if you enter the number of units on this side. Then click on the Apply button for the correct number of meters to be added to the table. Now, for each unit, enter the unit number and name. The activator number will be assigned automatically. It is important to enter the milk meter number to make it appear in the same position as it is in the parlor, because it affects the identification behavior in the parlor. The first unit in the row should be the first milk meter near the exit gate. Now repeat the procedure for side 2. Next, we will define the receivers. Click on the Receiver tab. As with the other components, we will click on the gray table and enter the required details. The first receiver is always 150. Following receivers will be 151, 2, etc. For the milking parlor, the location must be defined as in parlor, and the priority must be defined as high. Select these settings from the location column and the priority column. Take care to assign the correct receiver unit number for the parlor. In the column labeled Communication, you must select the communication card for the parlor. The communication card must be the same as the communication card defined in the Milk Meter tab, in case there are more than 1 communication cards in the system. If your system includes multiple receivers, repeat the procedure. Here you will see the receiver or receivers that are outside, for example in the shed. The location must be defined as outside and the priority must be defined as low. Select the correct communication card for each receiver. At the top of the pane, select Master Receiver. Note that the receiver in the parlor cannot be a master. It is mandatory for a system that includes transceivers. As we said, for this demonstration, we will only configure a basic installation, receivers, milk meters, and a transceiver. To configure the transceiver, select the Transceiver tab and follow the same procedure as for the other units. Click on the gray table, enter the required material, and apply. If you have additional components for your system, feed intake, sort gate, etc., you will configure them in the same manner. Make sure that the sort gate is configured on the same communication card as the one configured for the milk meters. Click on the Apply button to save the settings. In case of errors, a red exclamation mark will appear next to the problem settings. Each tab with a problem will be indicated with a red exclamation mark. Now we will define the milking schedule on the template list. Click on Other Settings from the main menu. A gray table will appear labeled Template List. You will see template name for entire day, which is the default template that comes with the system. To create a custom template that fits your parlor schedule, click on the Add button. The template list will disappear, and in its place, a template info pane will appear. Enter the template name. For this example, we will name it Daily Milking Schedule. Check the box for Active Template. Click on the gray table and then click on the Add Session button. For this schedule, we will enter 3 milking sessions. Click on the Start/Stop cells. Click on the arrow, enter the time. We recommend adding 1 hour before and after the actual milking time to allow for minor time adjustments. In the case for farms that are milking 24/7, it is mandatory to have at least 10 minutes between 2 consecutive sessions. Select the green check to activate the sessions. Check the settings and click Apply. Your completed templates will appear on the right side of the screen. Click on the template name to see the details for each one that you have created. On the left side of the screen, you will see a summary of all the templates you have created, which is active and which is not. For example, you can create both a summer and winter schedule and then activate the relevant schedule. To make changes in the milk schedule times, click on the cell that you want to change. The template will return to the left side of the screen and a blue Modify pencil will appear. Make the necessary changes and save. The milking session templates will appear on the submenu at the top of the pane. Go back to the HWS Config Screen Basic tab and select the current session template, the one that we created. Click on the Apply button to save the changes. Now go to the Unit Status tab to review the system configuration. Here you will see the receivers and milk meters we have configured. Recheck the configuration to see if all of the units are correct. If not, return to the HWS config and make the necessary corrections and apply. At the top of the screen, you will see a button for each unit type that is wired into the system and configured on the HWS configuration screen. By default, all of the units are selected. We recommend keeping it like this. You can click on each unit type and all of the units will be shown or hidden according to the last clicked status. The visible unit name is colored in orange. The name of the units that are hidden are not colored. If there is at least one unit that is not communicating, a red exclamation mark will appear on the Unit Type button. Even if the units are hidden, you will see the notification that there is a problem. In this case, click on the unit type to see all units. To view which units have red status. Here is the explanation for the colors for each unit status. The receiver unit status colors are: green means the unit is active and communicating. Near the tag icon, a tag number will flash on the screen when received. Red, no communication. The unit is not responding. Dark purple, the communication is closed. For the milk meter status, the meaning of each color is: light blue is takeoff mode, orange is milking mode, purple is cleaning mode, yellow is cleaning completed, light pink is sleep mode, dark pink is wake up mode, light green is for massive treatments, light brown is for upload mode, red no communication, the unit is not responding. Dark purple, the communication is closed. For each milk meter box, you will see additional info that can be modified as follows. Go to the Other Settings menu and select General Settings. Select a language. Check Auto Startup for the EcoHerd Plus to load or unload whenever the EcoMonitor is loaded or unloaded. In the Define Milk Meter grid, you will select the number of meters per row. Define how many boxes will appear in each row. The number of lines per meter. Define how many lines of details will appear in each meter box. The minimum is 1 line, which must be the animal ID number. The first line will always show the animal number. The second line, select the desired info from the drop-down menu. Repeat the process for the third line and the fourth line, depending on how many lines you have selected. Please note, each type of info can only appear once. It is recommended to keep the line info as it appears in the default settings. Go to the Unit Version menu to read the current versions for each unit. Select all units. Click on the Read button. This is important to maintain the system's accuracy. There are some parameters or features that are available only from a specific version. In this video, we have presented the basic interface for the unit installation. Please continue with us to video 2 for the EcoMonitor milking parlor setup to learn how to configure the parameters for each unit that you have installed.